Thanks for staying with us. So before we move on to our hot topic, it's important that we restate what the Inspector General of Police said concerning the number plate. Let me read verbatim. He said that the IGP ordered the immediate suspension of further issuance of spy number plates and tinted glass permits due to abuses associated with other use across the country. Therefore, it doesn't affect your private number. So YK, can I get your YK?
Is you that clarified?
I'm clarifying it. Yes, that's exactly.
You know why I'm asking for clarity? I drive with the dealer's number that I maintain every year.
Okay.
And I pay to the MVA for that. Other people have special plates numbers.
It says spy number.
Before you have
spy number is police related. Yes, it's police related. So it doesn't affect you. Don't worry. Stop being in Nigeria.
I don't understand.
What is spy number? It doesn't affect you.
Come and be making somebody afraid.
Spy.
Now, let us move on to our topic for today. Twitter ban. Yesterday we talked about it. We had a guest in where we talked about the legality, or illegality of this, and Nigeria being a sovereign nation, even if they had the right, they're within their rights to say categorically they don't want a certain organization functioning in their country. We had that conversation yesterday. But today we want to take it from a different angle. We want entrepreneurs to call in to share with us their experience so far, because we read in the paper some entrepreneurs complaining that their business have suffered in the last 48 hours since this suspension has been effected. So you can call us on 081-270-53687. You can also call us on 091-390-76948. You can't tweet to us, so please send us a message on Facebook. Go to TVC Connect, and you see us on Facebook, and we can read your messages from there. All right? So I think Nyma and BC will be taking, but so far,
I'm doing YouTube.
Okay, you do YouTube.
I'm doing YouTube.
Oh, God. So you do YouTube, you do Facebook.
Facebook.
All right. So let's talk. I mean, you're not here when we talk about the Twitter ban, YK and BC. What were your initial thoughts first before we now go into the effects?
Okay, so I know that Nigeria is a sovereign nation, and like every sovereign nation, they have a right to determine what happens in their space.
Yeah.
It's their right. Nobody can fault them for that. But I have a problem with always not doing things right. I believe that they should have somehow had an agreement with people who are setting up social media accounts, that's the subscribers themselves, not subscribers, the how do I call it now, the network themselves, you know, have like a form of agreement, have a form of licensing, because I don't think you can go into any other country and just set up something like this without having a license from their government. So that's where they should have, you know, worked on. And secondly, instead of having an outright ban, so it's like saying, because this child is obese, I will no longer feed the child. Instead of managing the food that you give to the child, taking out the food, you know, from the child because the child is obese is more like, you know, I don't want to use the normal cliche, throwing the baby with this baby is always in the bathwater, so I don't care about this baby. But I believe that they should have, you know, found a way to come to the table and say, this and this is what we have noticed about this particular network. And going forward, if you want to operate in a country like Nigeria, these are the rules and the regulations and the guidelines, not an outright. You know, a few months ago, no, Maria, let me land. A few months ago, this particular account, Twitter, went to give headquarters to another country, Ghana, because of things like this. It hasn't even happened, and now it's happening to them. So other networks will be thinking, tomorrow they can come and say, okay, Facebook is off. Next tomorrow they can say Instagram is off, not caring that there are a lot of young men and women who are making a living, legitimate living from these networks.
So just like Tokwe had said, Tokwe mentioned yesterday, she reminded us that there are other countries that have been through this phase where, yes, the suspension precedes that conversation you're talking about. So we suspend you first. We don't like what you're doing. We suspend you. Now it's time for you to come to the table. Let's have a conversation. If you're going to be in our country, here are the terms. Here are the things. These are the terms of engagement. So maybe that is not a total ban. It's a suspension. But the fact that even though it's been suspended, Nigerians are crying that it is affecting our businesses. So should the federal government have considered the effects before suspending? Or do you think as a sovereign nation, hey, it's within their prerogative to say we don't want it anymore? Why can't?
You see, my own problem is this. When you have people who are too old that are ruling a people that are majority young people, we have this kind of problem. Now, you see, like someone like me, I didn't know that if you make a comment that I don't like on Twitter, I can report you.
Okay.
Which is what the people did not know. So, all those comments that were against the government could have reported
those comments.
If they knew, but they didn't know to report.
Because of age.
So, people now reported their own.
And they took it down.
And Twitter just did offensive
report
because of the number of reports. If they had a
technical know-how,
techie person, they say, oh no, let's quickly report. Before
they would have taken those ones down.
Before President had time to tweet his own, they would have taken all those ones down. It was after that. Oh, okay. They now started reporting. So you see, we need young people to be in government to understand what this
especially in the 21st century.
We're not in the jet age again. We're not even in space age. We're in computer that age. You know, the age of
AI, artificial intelligence,
virtual age.
Internet of Things.
So
okay, so
I don't think. Sorry, let me just say, I don't think that they should have banned Twitter because I think that it is not democratic. This is a democracy. It is not. If we're in China or North Korea or all those communists, so they should say whether we are social or communist. That's all.
So you see, when I watch international media, especially during that Trump campaign, and I hear all the things they say against Trump and the way they insult him, all the they do all the memes. And okay, hey, you try 0.00% of this in Nigeria that are banned because NBC, our regulator, have instructed that stations across totally go off Twitter. Now, so this is a bold, they deactivate their account. So this is a bold move, saying ho-ha that we don't want Twitter. Now, initially it was a suspension, but it's almost looking like a ban.
A ban, yeah.
And that's when I just need this conversation. That are we going to have this conversation, this meeting with Twitter to have new regulations within Nigeria, or we're just saying we're done with Twitter?
So this is where my own lies. As much as Nigerians are making money on Twitter, can we just be reasonable? And I blame our National Assembly and our Houses of Assembly when it comes to this. When it comes to the integrity, unity of a country, countries rise up. Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg, was facing the Congress one time ago over data compromising the data of American citizens in their country. In fact, he used to go there, you will see him on video, obviously shaking because he knew he was meeting serious-minded people. In this country, we had a person asking for secession of a certain tribe in this country over and over, and it's being promoted. No Nigerian thought to report it. Our federal government have special assistants on everything, including social media, all of them. And those people say they're not tech enough. The federal government.
They are our auntie. What's her name?
Auntie, that one that I have.
They are not. Obviously, when they have said it, they are not.
You will tell you
don't worry.
They are not.
Those people do not tell government to report. Because you see, the debate here is not because government has every power to do what they've done. We're a sovereign nation. We cannot be apologetic to anything corporate entity registered in another country. That is my take. But because we are doing it at a time when it seems it's for the most frivolous reason. It looks personal. That's why we're having this conversation.
It's vindictive.
If Twitter is doing his business and the cost of his business goes to the root of our unity, Twitter should be banned, in fact, evicted, pata. That's what it should be done. But because at the time it was done, it looked like our president was addressing a personal issue. We had issues that our National Assembly should have.
The committee, bad tweets.
Thank you. Committee upon committee on committee. We have committee for unity. We must have committee for social media. We must have committee for communications. We have a minister for communications who did not think to advise the president at the earliest time to address Twitter on issues that were divisive. Tweets that were flying everywhere. Nobody talked about it.
They did not know.
Thank you, Nyma.
Let me know.
Let me talk. Philip, are you there?
They didn't know.
Philip, are you there?
I'm here.
You're live. Go ahead, please.
How is one of you there?
We're doing well.
Thank you. We're all right.
Actually, this is my first time of calling.
Welcome to the show.
For the past 2 years, I would try and call if you don't go. Yeah. Sometimes I will make a little prayer before I will call. It will not go. So I'm not going to contribute anything this morning, but just to appreciate you people.
Thank you,
because
sir.
You are the voice of the voiceless.
Thank you.
The time when you celebrated birthday, I couldn't connect. When your sister Yemi celebrated birthday, I couldn't connect. But on the background here, I'm praying for all of you.
Thank you very much.
To contribute. But today, I just want to pray for you. Don't go ahead and do your work. We are supporting you in prayer and everything.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, let's go a quick break. When we come back, we'll open our phone lines because we want to hear from Nigerians. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your view will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So we're going to be opening our phone lines very soon. But I think I really like what Nyma had said before the break because it's also an indictment on us as Nigerians and how unpatriotic we are. Because many of us have seen, because we say it so easily, oh, the streets of Twitter are very toxic. The streets of Twitter are very, very, they are combative. They are, if you go there,
they will roast you.
We say when we joke about it, for us it's not a big deal because that's where people throw out the venomous messages about the nation. Yes, if you are yabbing each other, that's your business. But when you say such negativity about our country and people just laugh about it. So based on what you said, we have seen these messages and we've just walked past. But then our president said something because we asked him to speak. He says something and suddenly we then report it so much that to get to the point where they now got vindictive by saying they are suspending Twitter. But the point is, we also should have taken responsibility for those who are uttering, who are sending out venomous messages against, divisive messages against Nigerians. That also should have been reported.
Well, if you are a reporter, then you should have reported. Me, I've never reported anybody on Twitter before.
You're not a reporter.
I'm not a reporter. But
Okay, please let me
because
I still believe that the government should have had somebody who was checking those messages and reporting them to Twitter.
Yes.
And saying, this is a divisive message. You need to delete this. And then we have evidence against Twitter. See all the ones that we reported. So if I'm saying the wrong thing now, all the government has to do now is say, look, we did report.
Yes.
And they didn't do anything about it.
So if they have that evidence, then we know that the Twitter was being deliberate by allowing this divisive
exactly. I believe that they have people who are watching it and just reacting to it. So they have a team of essays for social media from the office of the First Lady, the Vice President, all of those offices. And all they do, they read the tweets, they react to it. You have some people whose job
is to react.
Where's Kuku call her name? They are online. They react, they call you out, they abuse your father on Twitter. That's what they do. Rather than look at this tweet and say, no, this tweet goes to the root of our country.
And do the right thing.
The very foundations that build, promote our country's unity and report it, and even Twitter, people should also join in reporting it. You can ask for people to sign petitions against such a thing. So that Twitter sits up and know that there are serious people in that country online using their facility. But we even in Nigerians that are crying, we're all crying. Because we think our means of livelihood is affected.
All right, so that's
thinking
of
security and safety.
Innocent, thanks for calling. Are you there? Innocent, are you there? Innocent? I think we lost that call.
Hello?
Yeah, you're live. Go ahead, please. Innocent, can you hear me? Okay. Let me come to you, BC.
So I think this just points to the failure of government to know what it's supposed to do and do the right thing at the right time. This is an era of, this is a digital era where things, it's online, it's machine, it's not human beings. So there are rules of engagement when you are going to be using such. There are, like when you talk about these reporting issues, when you report, they don't. The owner of Twitter does not go to read all the comments in people's pages. He doesn't even know. But when the reports come, the machine can pick it and do what is needed. So it's failure on our part not to know how to rightfully engage with this social media platform. That's one. Two, my worry is that...
It's like employing someone like me now. What do I know about
Twitter? My worry is that we've been thinking of how to get money, loans, businesses. We want foreign investors to come. These are some of the things that they'll be looking at to say, are you sure we can thrive?
Erratic policies.
Yes. Are you sure we can thrive in a nation like Nigeria? Because any policy can just come up and we lose money and lose everything. So I think it's very, it's good to be upset about certain things. It's good to assert your sovereignty. But at the same time, the long-term effects should be considered, not on just your people, but your economy at the same time. We need to consider that.
Let me take Angel. Angel, are you there? I really want to hear from Nigerians today because, Angel, are you there?
Yes, good morning.
You're live. Go ahead, please.
Okay. First of all, I'm a first-time caller.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you, thank you. All right, I would like to comment on the Twitter suspension in Nigeria. First of all,
Angel? Oh, we lost that call. Messages on Facebook or
let me see if I can take some from here.
Let's take people on Twitter have come on Facebook now. Festus Akinwe, I can see you. It says last Sunday the British Home Secretary was on national TV blasting social media. The ban and suspension of Twitter in Nigeria is like killing a fly with a sledgehammer. But Twitter needs to put its house in order. 10 people will interpret what PMB said differently. Twitter must have a way of analyzing every tweet before they remove them. There are many fiendish people whose duty is to report anything and everything to Twitter. Innocent Samuel Rocco says, we have seen over and over again in the US, how partisan Twitter can be. Any tweet undermining Democrats is quickly taken down, while those against Republicans is made to trend. Watch Congress sittings and see for yourself constant complaints from Republicans. You mustn't report before Twitter takes down tweets. That is clearly in their own rules. They do take down as it suits their agenda.
Mukoro,
Moses
Mukoro says, what insecurity? Now Twitter calls Boko Haram and Fulani headsmen killing.
Adebayo Adebakare says, why should innocent Nigerians be paying for the ignorance of the government? What does the Minister of Communication understand about ICT? These are things killing the great nation. The government will just take an action without thinking of its effects on citizens. Indirectly, the government wants to silence Nigerians. Today it is Twitter, tomorrow it might be Facebook. What the government is doing is not proper.
Right. Akinyele Ajayi says it's a joke. They could have checkmated this act by making good money from them. Agnes Olayemi says, yes, I really love that white case view. The young need someone like them to cohabit better.
Let me take this call from Peter. Peter, are you there from Surulere? You're live. Go ahead, please.
First-time caller.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah, thanks. Listen, you guys, you inspire everybody. Let me just say that. But on this Twitter issue, I think for me, for once, I'm actually proud of the Nigerian government, on one hand. And on another hand, I'm also disappointed in a lot of ways that, people report about Nigeria abroad. It's as if nothing good happens in Nigeria. Now, we have linked Twitter directly to violence in Nigeria during the EndSARS protest, and then also this ESM situation in the southwest, where they're burning police stations, they're burning INEC offices, and people are actually dying. We have that all militarized, and we can trace a lot of that stuff back to Twitter. Now, where does Twitter have the responsibility for themselves to actually guard against things that can cause problems in another person's country? Let's not say Nigeria as a whole. There's a lot of problems with these new age media, I would say, which is like Twitter, Facebook, and all of that. So the rules and regulations are not quite set to the point that we feel totally comfortable as the government and the people. Yeah, it's a sad situation that people are losing money and all of that. But also Nigeria is not making money off Twitter. It is the people making money. That's where the government, I would say, got it wrong. They went to, Ghana, but so what, really? They don't have to come to Nigeria.
I didn't hear the but I have a story.
It says that the people of Nigeria are the ones making money off Twitter, not the government of Nigeria. And that Twitter, took their business, their office to Ghana. Yeah. They're making their own money.
There's a gentleman whose story I saw in the Nigerian Tribune today, and it was really heartbreaking. His name is Elijah Peter. and he's a postgraduate student of one of the foremost universities here. He was talking to Nigerian Tribune, and he was saying that his online footwear store, shoe locker, his primary customers came from Twitter, and it was the proceeds he was using to pay for his education. So this is a man whose entire business
Twitter.
has been run ground because Twitter has been suspended. So these are the economic effects, because there's that ripple effect of he's getting that money and he's using to pay for his education. We understand the sovereignty of the decision. However, at the same time, they need to bring Twitter to a conversation table
when you are
where they
doing
discuss
things,
it.
that's what a democratic government does. When you are taking decisions, take your people into consideration. Because what it seems like, I may be wrong, but what it seems like is they did it in reaction to
what happened.
What happened. Not because if that's the case, they should have been taking it. Well, so there are so many bad comments that you Twitter, you haven't banned all these ones.
He came across as petty. When the government is
vindictive. There's also a sad part of social media. Social media has not only become our marketplace, it's also become our courts. It's become our police. Yes,
everything.
People would do, you do business and actually go to the person, write to the person and say, you're owing me or you've defrauded me, and go to the police and they won't find justice. But the moment they call out a known person online and say, you, so, and so, this so, and so to me online, tag and retag. There was a young lady who did the logo for a popular movie in this country, and she did not get justice by just discussing. It was until she called out, some actors retweeting for her, and that was her court. Where she found justice.
That any girl. It was through Twitter. You see,
a lot of our system.
Justice of business. It's not our police, it's not our justice system.
Our government should sit
up. A lot of information. I know there is a lot of, there are many false reports, but there are a lot of true ones. And, you know, that's...
But also, I think that social media has given the Nigerian youth a voice. They can stand up, they can come together. It's more in sync with what they do on a daily basis, because they are becoming more tech as they grow, and they can come together with one voice and speak against certain ills and, you know, issues that are happening in the country. And that is when the government will now pay attention to those issues. We've seen it happen over time. But I want to appeal to anybody who is doing business in Nigeria. You know the country that you live in. It will be unfair for you to put all your eggs in one basket. Your business should not all just be on one platform. It should be on all the platforms, and it should also be on, you should have access to your business physically. Because tomorrow, anything can just go, and you have nothing to fall back on. So don't wait.
That's not what
I understand.
A good working government country does.
I understand.
Business should not just go.
I understand.
Because
it is what it is.
When you're in Roman,
it is what it is.
When they want to run for election, they all use Twitter.
I know.
They all use Twitter. They all use Facebook.
But
that's all we can take. I think, in summary, we would really like the federal government to have a conversation with Twitter and to hopefully restore this soon. Yes, we understand the reasons for their suspension, but we hope that this can be resolved so that Nigerians who rely on this platform for their businesses can resume their work. Let's go on a break. When we come back, we'll move on to another very, very important hot topic. Stay with us. We'll be right back.